Hi everybody, my name is Kyle Yuen, and today I'm going to be talking about Chapter 2, which is the impact of self-concept. So there are 6 objectives of this chapter, which are 1, defining self-concept, distinguishing it from the self, 2, explaining what the reflected appraisal theory, social comparison theory, confirmation, rejection, discrimination, and how they relate to shaping self-concept. 3 is defining self-fulfilling prophecy and distinguish between positive and negative pygmalion. 4 is explain the influence that cultural diversity and gender have on self-concept. 5 is to describe how media and technology affect self-concept. And 6, how you can change and strengthen your self-concept. I'm not going to go over all these 6 objectives today. My agenda for this video is to be 1, define what self-concept is, 2, what is the social comparison theory, 3, the culture and self, and 4, how to improve self-concept. So self-concept is your answer to who you are. So when someone asks you, who are you? This is going to be your answer. According to the textbook, they define self-concept as the relatively stable set of perceptions one attributes to oneself. We are not born with self-concept, it's developed over time. And self-concept is split into 2 parts, self-image and self-esteem. We're not going to talk much about self-image in this chapter, but we're going to talk a lot more about self-esteem. So I drew a little T-chart here to set the difference between the two. So in self-image, the mental image you have of yourself is what the definition of it. The roles you claim to be and the beliefs you use to describe yourself includes the self-image, and in self-esteem, it is your self-evaluation of yourself. I'm sorry, the is not supposed to be there. And how much you like yourself. So, the theory that I was going to tell you today is the social comparison theory, which is defined by the textbook as we compare ourselves to others to develop a feel for how our talents and abilities and quantities measure up to theirs. So basically, it is like a measuring stick where you compare yourself to others, which I'll show you visual aid later. Self-esteem suffers when we feel short on the stick, and self-esteem also does the same thing if you're too high on the stick. If you go on the long stick, you'll feel much better about your self-esteem. So here's my ruler we have here. So the topic I'm going to talk about is, say, basketball. So Maria is on the lower side of her skill in basketball. She's not the best at basketball. Simon is sort of okay at it, and Jack is, I guess, advanced, but you are better than them. And this result will be a high self-esteem because you're comparing yourself between others and you see that majority of these people are worse than you at basketball. So you think of yourself as highly better than them. However, there's also low self-esteem, as you can see in another example I'm about to give. This one's going to be about math. So Maria is in calculus. She's pretty good at math. Simon is in pre-calculus. He's getting his way toward calculus. Jack is still in Algebra 1, while you are in Algebra 2. And the result of this is low self-esteem. Something I want to mention here is that even though you're not the worst at math, like if you say Jack is one of the worst in your group, you still have low self-esteem because comparing Simon and Maria to be the majority of your group, that will create you still low self-esteem because you still see them as below. So the next part is, how does culture relate to self-concept? So first, I'm going to describe how cultures are categorized as. So individualistic and collectivistic cultures are very different, and I drew another T-chart here for you. Individualistic cultures, it's mainly located in America and the Western European Union's countries. They value uniqueness and personal identity, and they link success with personal achievements. Collectivistic, on the other side, is practically the opposite of individualistic. And they have idiocentric orientation, which is the definition of is another name for individualistic cultures. So collectivistic is mainly located in Asia, Africa, and South America. The group goals are more important than the individual ones, and they link success with group cohesion and loyalty. Another name for this is also allocentric orientation. So I have all of them here for you. There's also another way that we describe cultures, which is high context and low context cultures. I have another T-chart for you. In high context cultures, they tend to be very polite and indirect when interacting with others, and they hesitate to ask other questions and prefer to rely on nonverbal communication. Low context, on the other side, tends to exhibit more direct communication style and makes an effort to gather information and the need to explain everything. So with all of these in mind, I want to ask you one question. Which one do you fit in high context or low context? Pause the video and think about it for a second. All right, so you've thought about it. It's a good thing that you are learning how to describe yourself in this situation. So I have this table here. It's also in page 50 of your textbook. It is all of the cultures and orientations that I just gave that might help you with this chapter. So the next question is, how do you strengthen self-concept? Because we're all here to improve the way we communicate, right? So how to strengthen self-concept is to first update pictures. A picture captures a moment in time that links to a particular environment. They're frozen in time, so you can't change them unless technology changes. But for now, we can only take a still picture, but we are not pictures. We can change the way we have ourselves. So the next part is related to this, which is take lots of pictures. Review these photos and take time to reassess the roles you perform in them. And finally, explore other pictures of you. The self is very flexible and changeable, so you have to realize what others think about you in order to change the shape of your self-concept. And by asking yourself, who am I now? You will be able to take pictures and pictures of a changing you because you keep thinking about this. And the photos show what you think about. With those in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for listening and good luck on the rest of the semester. Bye.